This is Lady Myya. Hello, you guys. I appreciate you here with me on another podcast. I have Dr. Andrea Paige. She is joining us from Rio in Brazil. Love that. We love that. Okay. So she works for the Institute for Aliveness. Okay. So we're gonna have her describe to us what they do and why. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrea, for joining us, beloved. We appreciate you. Please take it away.
Yeah, hi Maya. Thanks so much. It's great to be here, and hello to everyone listening. I don't know you guys, but I'm sending you a big virtual hug from Rio. So I founded the Institute for Aliveness, which is a kind of a think tank, if you will, for holding a higher standard for our species. Now, each of you has, you've encountered lots of rough patches in your life, maybe even this year, I'm sure. And that essence of feeling like you're unequipped to be able to deal with the struggles that life shows you is a big plight of modern humanity. And as Maya and I talked about, anxiety tends to be the common symptom of this feeling of being unequipped to deal with everything that's coming at you. And what we do at the Institute for Aliveness is we venture into the depths of our own humanity, so into our psyche, into our physiology, our body, how our body's working, right? How the fluids are flowing, how our heart is beating, all of this, and really looking at why we're here, what we're here to do in a very practical, grounded way. And going in and doing like deep trauma healing work, doing deep work in learning how to communicate better, doing work in emotional intelligence. And what I say is that we breed excellent humans, really robust beings who will truly become the beacons of what our species will evolve into. That's what the Institute for Aliveness is all about.
Oh, that is interesting. So we can be X-Men and we can be DC? Like, I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Exactly. Well, yeah, imagine those superheroes, but if those superheroes also had time to be really present with their own mythic hero's story, because we are all heroes in our own hero's journey. And it's up to us to take a step back and like say, okay, I can both be the character in this story and I can read the story and witness the story happening from this zoomed out, bigger picture perspective at the same time.
Okay, so if you could explain that to us, right? And you might have to dummy it down for me, okay? How does that look? I mean, we understand that there's certain things with our bodies, but at the same time, we don't even understand how everything works just good. So what does that look like?
Yes, 100%. Humans have never been as disconnected from our full vessel as we are today. And so illness on the rise is just, it's quintessential to, we don't know what kind of food we're meant to eat. We're not eating food even meant for human species, right? We're like super dry inside. We're super dehydrated. Our brains aren't functioning because we're not hydrated. We are starved of the human connection that we need to thrive. Like all of these essences make it very hard to be a human in the 21st century. So like, I'm with you there, Maya, and everyone else listening. Like, it's not easy to be human this time around. But when you learn how to hack the system, when you learn how your body works, when you learn the knobs and the levers and the mechanisms, things like you need to, drink 3 liters of water a day, because that's just how much water your body loses by sweating and urinating and breathing, right? So replacing that is minimum, and most people don't do that. So starting to do that on an empty stomach, right? Starting to be more practical about the things we're putting in our body, like fruits and vegetables. Those are the things that everyone agrees are good for you. So eat mostly fruits and vegetables, and like whatever else on the side, but focus on the fruits and vegetables, right? And then from there, like making sure that you're eliminating, that you're pooping. Can I talk about poop on your show, Lady Maya?
Absolutely.
You're pooping once per meal per day. It's super, super, super important. And then from there, making sure that you can have some kind of emotional regulation and regulation of your nervous system. And when you have that, you can show up in any situation. So think of your boss, or think of your boyfriend, or think of, any situation that kind of was grinding you in the wrong way. Space in your mind, you could show up without telling story, without being emotionally disturbed by it. Yeah. And if that happens, then right, you've come to a new level of consciousness and a new level of awareness. Yeah, where you can start to perceive reality differently.
I think it's like interesting because a lot of times, we would think like, just being intelligent beings, right? We would think that, our body is supposed to be working properly on its own. We're thinking that, okay, as long as I'm eating, I'm not malnourished, as long as I'm drinking, didn't matter if I was drinking water or soda, but as long as I'm drinking, I'm not dehydrated. But I think we have this misconception that just because we're putting things in our bodies doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing it justice in all retrospect,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, on a physical level, like if we're just looking at the body, and the physical level is minuscule when we go to the psychological level, or when we go to the spiritual level, like those are kind of even more dominant over the physical. But on the level of the physical, yeah, it's not just that we're taking anything in, because different things have different effects on the body. Like water, fruits, and vegetables are the only things that our body really needs. They're the only thing that our body is really made to process. Our body's not made to process Coca-Cola or whatever other soft drink, or whatever kind of fried dish we might have. And the thing is that it's only in the past really 30 to 40 years where human diets have changed so radically that it's produced a subsequent rise in disease. So the most 5 common diseases of today: heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, obesity, cancer. I'm sure everyone listening knows probably one person with each one of those diseases, right? They're more common now than ever before. They're only getting more common. And the truth of it is that those diseases are all not only possible, but preventable through diet and lifestyle choices. And it's not rocket science. You can back up super simple. Right. That it's just like more hydration and hydrated food. That's it. Keep it simple, love bugs. Like, don't let anyone overcomplicate your health. Your body is simple. The world is trying to sell us things at all times. And so we have to start to change how we're seeing things, rather than being the fish, swimming towards the bait, right? We have to say, actually, is that a real worm, or is it bait on a hook, right? Because most of the time it's bait on a hook, and, we're smarter than goldfish.
Well, we would only hope so.
I think anyone listening to your show probably is, right, Lady Myya?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. I look at it like, we have there's so many different programs and different things that are out there, that everybody's, they're pushing this thing, you got to get better, you got to do, and I'm like, well, why is there so many people that are out here pushing the heavier agendas and different things like that? And I'm like, you got to understand why. You have to understand, because like you said, there's so many different things that we're all suffering from. One person can't reach everyone. So there needs to be a multiplicity of people that can reach, those people that we can't reach. And I appreciate that, certainly. So, like, in what way or how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, interesting. So I did a lot of work. As I told you, I kind of left my public facing career about 3 years ago. And now I came back to it to replace myself. and to train people to do what I was doing, to be like super ninjas in the world of full-scale diagnostic health. Yeah. But I had a big career that was kind of reached its apex, managing the largest yoga studio in the world's wellness center in Bali in Indonesia. And so I had people on my doorstep from all corners of the world that were just exposed to me. And the thing is that I tell the truth. A lot of people in the health world or in the healing world are trying to sell you something. They're trying to, prescribe you something. They're trying to convince you of their system. And all I want to do is connect people back to the truth that's inside of them and the simplicity of health and the human body and the human psyche. And it's not complicated. And so anytime, for those of you listening, like, learn how to be discretionary, right? When someone's trying to sell you something, or when someone is trying to, in one way or another, convince you of something rather than make you think critically. Yeah. So for example, like, I teach people how to think, not what to think. And that's really big. Critical thinking is something that's been lost in the modern world because everyone's become, zombie consumerists. And so to step outside of that, to empower yourself, to learn how to think about things, is one of the most powerful steps that you can ever make. And when it comes to your body and when it comes to health, it's simple, right? Hydration, hydrated food, fruits and vegetables, eliminating waste more, and that's waste out of your mind. So like, have a writing practice. Like, I'm sure each of you kept a journal maybe at some point in your life. Try that again. Set a timer, just write for like 10 minutes. Don't stop. Don't let the pen stop, and see what comes out. See how you feel different afterwards. Simple things like this, things that are free. Health is not expensive. In fact, it's incredibly cheap. Like, if you've been for a walk in the park lately, these kinds of things are what changes our physiology, changes our awareness, changes our state of being, and allows us to be at a better frequency of existence, like to just be a happier person. Yeah, less stuck on social media, crawled up in a bed somewhere in a dark corner in a house. Like, get outside and just breathe. Like, that's health.
That is health. Everybody wonders why I need to take a walk. Even when you're kind of tense in the moment and different things like that, I just need to take a walk. I need some air. I need some fresh air. Let me go out. Let me do this. And it's just like, you're getting back into something that would normally bring you down off of everything that's happening around you. Your body wants that. And that's why it makes it so less complicated for you to go out and do it. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm not even thinking about it. I'm grabbing my stuff and I'm gone. I'm out. Like, people go for runs because it's very therapeutic. Like, I'm getting things moving and different things like that. I read something that said, the more you move, the less you'll hurt. And I was just like, you don't say. Keep talking. Because I thought it was interesting because, most times, we stop moving around because everything hurts. You're like, I don't like the way that made me feel. Let me just sit down. And, then it won't hurt no more. No, it's just going to hurt worse when you get home. Let's try this again. And then you
move, keep moving, evolve.
Yes. And then when the more you keep moving, the better you actually feel, because now you don't even realize you're moving. You're like, yeah, that doesn't hurt nearly as much now. Okay.
And I mean, that's hurt that's physical, and that's hurt that's heartbreak, and that's hurt that's mental, and that's hurt that's ancestral. Move. That's what dance is about, right?
This is why everybody loves to get on the dance floor and get the moving and different things like that. And even working out. I used to just like getting on a treadmill. Just put me on a treadmill or get me a stair stepper. And I would you talking about, I'm like, I need to get to 5 miles today, or I need to get to this, I need to get to that. And but when you set those goals and you actually make them, you feel good. feel so much better.
Yeah.
Just mentally.
Dopamine. That's dopamine, Lady Myya. It's the most delicious drug that's made inside of you.
The best.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
take
and
it.
you can manufacture it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. And I think, you know, a lot of times we don't give our bodies a whole lot of credit. And I think that's so wrong. You know, let's not, you know, tell the drugs that they win. They're not supposed to be here in the first place. We're just gonna say no. And it's expensive. And now you're messing up your belly. You know, now you got so many things actually go into your belly. Now you got painkillers, you got fatty foods, you got sugars.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people keep eating these things. If you talk about fatty foods, for example, that they know are bad for them, but they just keep eating it. Like you listening, I know you reaching for that ice cream, right? I know me reaching for that coconut ice cream, right? I know you reaching for the pizza, the French fries, whatever it is. You know it's not good for you, but you keep choosing to do it because it's a straight dopamine shot to the brain. And the thing that happens when someone's pain, because we're not meant to get that many calories in such a concentrated world ever. And so when it happens artificially through modern food, which is not real food, right? French fries, pizza, this isn't real food, right? Real food are fruits and vegetables. Yeah, real food looks like something like that, you know? And so when we eat that kind of artificial food, it's like a drug to our brain in a way that's an overload, and it creates a cycle of addiction. And even though we know it's bad for us, right, we don't actually know here in our heart and here in our belly that it's bad for us, unfortunately. And so a lot of the work I do with people and have done through my career is long-term fasting. So we're looking at like a week long of a juice cleanse where you're just having green juice and water, maybe some coconut water, right? And people are amazed, right? It's the scariest thing in the world for people because they're like, oh, you're going to take away my food. And that's often people's last coping mechanism for the emotions that they can't stand to digest. So they just eat to make the pain go away. Yeah. And so it's very scary for people in the modern world to think of going for a long time without solid fibrous matter, without food. And yet when they go, like on day 6, it's the same kind of feeling that you have, Myya, when you go 5 miles on the treadmill. You get there and you're like, I did it. And with fasting specifically, someone gets there after a week and they say, oh my God, I didn't think I could do it, but I feel better than I have since I was 5 years old, right? And that breaks my heart because it just reveals how little confidence we have in ourselves as modern humans. And at the same time, it fully reinvigorates this idea that the body can heal itself and all we have to do is give it time and space to do so. And that's really what allowing your digestive system to turn off, resting, of fasting, that's what it is. Yeah.
See, and I think that is so imperative of us to take notes. Okay. Look inside yourself. Yourself is asking for it. You just don't want to hear it, but it's okay. You know, somebody was telling me recently, do the 20-80 rule. Eat healthy 80% of the time, and then maybe get a little piece of pie here and there. You know, if you have something that's actually giving you a win, go ahead and treat yourself. Treat yourself, but don't take advantage of it. And I like that. And I was just like, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, are you a dog? Like, do you want to treat yourself with food as a treat, or do you want to treat yourself with a hot bubble bath and a massage and like a beautiful evening? Yeah. How can you start to treat yourself with something else? Because that's, it's outside of the coping mechanism, food addiction, which most modern humans are just wrapped up in. Yeah. But what you speak to with awareness, Lady Myya, that's the main thing. So no one listening to this right now, and I want to be really clear that anyone listening to this, you're listening to this for a reason, right? This voice has been brought to you for a reason because you're ready to wake up. You're ready to look critically with unconditional love at your habits, right? At your coping mechanisms, at the reaching for that next, whatever it is, food or unhealthy habit. Maybe for men listening, it's porn, who knows, or women, I don't know. You know, like that thing that you have that you know is just this tick to cope with being a human in the difficult 21st century world. Like, this is an invitation that you're ready for more. This is the call to go on a great adventure. And that adventure is an adventure into yourself, into the depths of your being, to say, no, really, like, what is this about, this thing called my life? What can I do here? What more is there to discover? Yeah. And these are all stepping stones on the path to coming home.
You said it. I love it. Yay. Okay. So please tell everyone how to get a hold of you with the Institute of Alive.
Yeah, the Institute for Aliveness. It's a great acronym. We call it TIFA. And in Greek, after we named the institute, we found out that TIFA is short for Theophanius, which is the manifestation of God. So it's this kind of like, we're here to do the work that's greater than us. We're not here to do it to feed our own egos. And so we're a collective in 16 countries all over the world. And we are actually accepting students for our 2021 intake. We start January 4th with another full-on 18-month program. And our brand promise is upleveling humanity. That's what we are here for, is holding a higher standard for our species. And so if that's not a beginner's program, right? If you feel like you've already done some of this work, that might be for you. And if you're interested in fasting, then you can go to theinitiation.co. And that is our 1 week online fasting retreat. And we start, our next 2 ones start on December 26th. And then we actually have one starting on November 27th. So yeah, and then we're on Instagram at Institute for Aliveness. We're on Facebook.com/The Institute for Aliveness. And then you can reach out to me specifically. I also do personal consults, especially if you're a person of influence. And my website is Andi, ANDIX, the letter, .ai. Yeah, like .artificial intelligence. So yeah.
Get it. That's what we like. We like that artificial intelligence stuff. As long as we are taking advantage of it.
The work that I do in tech it's very much about keeping ourselves in it. It's very much based in the body. It's very much based in this wisdom that goes beyond your brain and beyond your words and beyond your thoughts.
That is so amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrea.
Yeah, thank you. You call me Andi. Keep it simple, just like health.
Yes, I love it. So Dr. Andi, she knows that, you know, we definitely want to be healthier. We should be healthier. We could live better. We should not ache nearly as much. And, you know, I think, you know, we would have such a better handle on our lives, you know, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I think that would just be such a treat, because then you're that much better for the people that are around you as well. And we definitely want that. Thank you so much, Dr. Andi, for everything. I appreciate you, dear heart, for all your energies and just the knowledge that you were spitting to my Mayan tribe. The tribe is definitely willing and able to step out on our own and not use the artificial intelligence, but to use our own intelligence. And I appreciate that, definitely. So you guys, I am part of Patreon now. You guys can help me out a great deal. That would be absolutely awesome. I just want to have more content for all of you. So thank you so much. And if you want to be on the show as well, reach out to me. That's the number 1, Lady Myya, and that's MYYA @gmail.com. You guys know why, because I'm special. So we will talk to you guys later.
And Lady Myya, I want to give your listeners a special discount on the initiation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So they can get the link through you. I'll send you a special link. And yeah.
Yay! Just because you're here, you guys. Myya tribe, assemble.